even when it was semi-effective on their attack on Nambani, it just seemed to slow down their gameplay. So we are now seeing DeToNator.KOREA maybe looking for something a little bit different on this attack now on Hanamura, and for Hong Kong Attitude playing the full dive.
And part of that full dive is actually we're going to see McCulty having an outing on the Genji. Not something we see a whole lot of. So I'm curious to see how that goes for them. DeToNator.KOREA as well. Going to be opting into that Widowmaker. Daheem is really going to have to pay dividends for them. Oh, yep, instant catch!
Instantly paying dividends.
First blood.
But this is what we're seeing, right? We know Daheem can do this. We've seen him on Widowmaker before, and he's been exceptionally good.
And a quick, decisive dive to follow it up. They D-max Shaolin. Hong Kong Attitude are just kind of reeling from this. Mui now goes down as well. That one catch onto McCulty, rezzed as he may have been, has opened the way for this point A attack with almost no resistance. I don't think anyone from DeToNator.KOREA has even died yet.
Now they're falling apart, right? I'm talking about Hong Kong Attitude right now because DeToNator.KOREA is certainly not falling apart. They're forcing Hong Kong Attitude to back completely, jump off the map, to reset fully. This one's going to be a snowball.
That was disaster. And also incredible capitalization out of DeToNator.KOREA. The quickness with which that dive came in. How pressured all these members of Hong Kong Attitude were getting before they were really ready for it as well. Now 7 minutes to go.
And this is the kind of discipline I like out of DeToNator.KOREA as well. Swapping onto the Soldier here, despite having the infra sight. Don't keep the Widowmaker. It's not enough snowball momentum.
Yeah,
keep the Soldier instead. Set him up, and Daheem will deliver.
Blitz Pulse Bomb out, connects onto a Ting. They've made themselves an opening. CQB very low as well. Who heals the healers? Right now it's no one. Sleep Dart goes wide. DeToNator.KOREA just starting to bust this one open. Mango Jai does get in the thick of it with a Transcendence, but they're just not getting enough damage done. Modern, I think that's 3 for him now. Running down Mango Jai now. DeToNator.KOREA can just start picking off these members as they flood out of the base. And Ting, the only tank in the mix right now. Shaolin only just re-entering that space, but Ting is sort of having to back off and dance around the side. It's already a third, and DeToNator.KOREA just goes up here.
Coming on through. I was going to say the golden area, but now it's been shut down. Doesn't matter.
Capped anyway. That's the thing. It really didn't matter because while that was all going on in the skies, they were still on the points, and I think Hong Kong Attitude didn't actually respect how much percentage it already gone over.
601. That is, at the end of the day, that's 159 attack all around, A and B included. Technically, B you could think is, you know, almost seemed faster than A to some degree because there was just no slowdown there at all from DeToNator.KOREA, no transition time that they really needed. Put Daheem on the high ground. Yes, Daheem eventually got killed. The double kill came on through, but you forgot about the point. You can't do that.
Yeah. Nowadays, everybody want to talk. But at any rate...
What's the next line in that? I don't actually know.
Like they've got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move the lips. Just a bunch of gibberish. The mother huggers acting like they forgot about Dre.
Forgot about the point. Forgot about the count. And that's exactly...
As did I just then. I remember Dre, but I forgot about the point.
I think it's true, yeah.
Forgot that was the joke he was originally making. It's very late at night.
Oh, damn. I did remember Dre. Like, that's the point.
Sometimes I sort of come like bolt upright. It's October the 1st, and I'm like, oh man, I forgot about Dre. Oh, and I forgot to wake up Green Day.
September, and I forgot.
Yep, yeah, that's the joke. But yeah, man, it's rough. You know, it's rough sometimes. All these things I've got to remember. But it's also rough for Hong Kong Attitude for that defense.
I do want to consider, like, if they had managed to stall out the point, the double kill, the self-destruct double kill from Shaolin, that may have secured them the defense. Yeah. I mean, they shut down the visor. They also shut down the Mercy, so there wasn't going to be a res as well. That kind of just puts a stop to DeToNator.KOREA, who, by that point, already managed to get something like 2 ticks. So even if they had stopped DeToNator.KOREA, it wouldn't have been a 601 cap, but maybe a little bit later they would just...
I mean, it could have even been a full stabilization, potentially. I don't want to go too nuts, but I mean, on the whole, that was just a great round of offense out of DeToNator.KOREA. I mean, the A and then into the B with just how commanding both really were. We've got to see something similar out of Hong Kong Attitude.
It's a big ask, though, and DeToNator.KOREA not going to give that one up easily, especially not if Modern takes down Mango Jai this quickly, and already Hong Kong Attitude. Look, they're stuck. They don't know where to go.
It's like that Scarlett Johansson movie, Lost in Rotation.
Except there's no Bill Murray.
Yeah, well...
Where's Bill Murray to save the day?
Well, he's lost. just thinking.
He's there. He's the one that's
Mango Jai is the Bill Murray of this team.
Oh, man.
Confirmed.
That just, that gave me an image. DeToNator.KOREA now getting further and further ahead. This is already much slower. Consider that DeToNator.KOREA got this on one attempt.
And they can't keep letting that happen here, Hong Kong Attitude. They can't get picked off in that rotation. You know, they need to deal with Scarlett Johansson. CQB already getting low. Yeah, they're just, I mean, they're pouring so many resources into keeping these members alive, but DeToNator.KOREA, they just have all the damage out. Good trade back onto Sleepy Bear, but
it's only one.
It's only the one, exactly. And the dive squad here of Blitz, Modern, and Krong are just getting so much done on the remaining members of Hong Kong Attitude.
Now this is getting into the territory where DeToNator.KOREA have won 2 fights in a row. Ults are going to be a factor. Now, the first ult's, of course, going to be the Dragon Blade because he's built it up so quickly. Mui still only halfway to the EMP, so Hong Kong Attitude, not only do they have to worry about getting a good time overall if they can finish the map, right now, they got to worry about capping A.
Oh, and already, again, they lose the support in the rotation. That leaves a Ting kind of up a tree without a ladder. Shaolin, he knows he's done for, has to take the dive.
And the problem is, because they're taking dives so early, they probably shouldn't be taking dives this early. They're not going to feed more ult charge when DeToNator.KOREA are basically there. What they need is their own ultimates. They need to stay and build their own ultimates so they can actually come in and address DeToNator.KOREA properly.
And oh, wow.
That happened.
What on earth? But now, Hong Kong Attitude, even as they come in with a similar number of ultimates here to DeToNator.KOREA, that still might not be enough. Like, DeToNator.KOREA could just still win with their ultimates. They could just outfrag. That's what's happened so far when they've had ultless fights.
So the problem is, even if DeToNator.KOREA lose this one, Hong Kong Attitude probably have to use all their
ults. Man. Good hack onto Blitz at least. They kind of shut down Blade combo there.
What? It's one.
Are you joking? Finds McCulty anyway. Hacked again, but where's the follow-up? Where's the dive? Hong Kong Attitude, they withstood those ultimates, but they didn't actually get anything while it was happening.
And now you're sort of at the point where, because there's about 1 minute remaining, if Hong Kong Attitude cap on through, first of all, they would need to cap with enough ultimates that they can snowball into B with, because if that doesn't happen, they don't have a lot of time to play with on B.
Just gonna have to try and go in and get aggressive. DeToNator.KOREA are starting to burn through some tools, though. It's paying off. They kill McCulty. They still haven't they still haven't actually committed those ultimates. What is going on here for Hong Kong Attitude? They lose McCulty. They choose to not actually commit their tools. They actually had a numerical advantage in that moment. And yeah, now big stagger onto Shaolin. 30 seconds remaining. This is bizarre.
This is not even what's happening to Hong Kong Attitude. It's more like what's happening for DeToNator.KOREA, which is to say, we're enraged. DeToNator.KOREA is ready to take this match back into their own hands. They are not happy about losing Numbani.
Oh man, Shaolin, yeah, not even back in the mech. CQB's already dead. They don't even have time to really lose this fight. Blitz finally going down, but they've already got 3 kills before that, and they've still got tools in the back pocket. Hong Kong Attitude just have to barrel and book it to the point. McCulty isn't even going to be able to get there. A Ting is now going to give it a whirl. He's going to at least touch the point, but he's already dead.
He took a bio nade in mid-air by the way, because Sleepy Bear just wants to shut him down. And Hong Kong Attitude, can we say no one tick on A?
Yeah, 601. And then not even a single tick on A. Shiver me timbers. That's one-sided. There's no 2 ways about that.
Bill Murray's not making back to the States.
The map score, prior to this, the map score was 1-1. But that was one-sided. Like, if a map win could be worth 2 maps, at least psychologically, like, that's it right there. That was such a wash for DeToNator.KOREA. Hong Kong Attitude now very solidly on the back foot coming into Escort.
It went so badly that Mui tried to get the spawn camp kill on Sleepy Bear and then loses the 1v1 to an Anna. Like, that's that's even worse. If it's not enough, like you can't even 1v1 a support with the hack, with the translocator to get yourself out. Like you lose that 1 versus 1, you die. Shaolin gets demech'd in this area where it's very difficult to reset, has to go back into spawn, lose all your ult charge. Like everything that could go wrong for Hong Kong Attitude probably went wrong.
At that point, you just gotta like look at your screen, like, well, you just get up and
start packing up your peripherals, like
nothing to be done about
Floyd
it.
Hey Floyd, get in there.
Oh man, I mean, look, that's not to say that Mui was doing anything wrong. I'm not saying, oh no, bench him, bring on Floyd Q. Not meaning to suggest that at all, but like something something did go horribly wrong there for Hong Kong Attitude, and on the attack and on the defense. But of course, you kind of spoke to the other side of that, which is actually things went horribly right. I don't know, for DeToNator Korea. They really did. Everything that needed to happen was happening. When they were being conservative with their ultimates, it was rightfully so. When they were committing them in, it was at the correct times. Things just went well.
And the other thing is, we talk so much about, okay, what if Hong Kong Attitude remember the point on to B and then use the self-destruct and all of that kind of business there, but who cares? They didn't even get A. None of that even matters. The whole B is a kind of like, that's a write-off. You didn't even get A. Like, that's the biggest problem here, and it's hard. Yeah. It is hard to not even get A. Most teams will get A because the defense respawn distance is so incredibly long. Like, one kill, trading 1-to-1 is like basically worth 2 kills.
That's the thing. I've not seen an A hold so far, I think, in Pacific Contenders. And like that is, you know, including some of the most heavily one-sided series. Like I would actually look at that Mega One Shine series as it was playing out last Sunday. With the way Hanamura was going, like Mega was still unequivocally ahead at all times, but One Shine still at least capped A. This is a more competitive series than that. Hong Kong Attitude have taken a map off DeToNator Korea, but that was still that one-sided. It boggles the mind.
Well, One Shine also took a map, and that one map was on Junkertown, so we're going straight there. And the other thing is, I want to say for that specific Hanamura defense is not only was it an A hold, but it was an A hold without giving up 1 tick. So that's the part that makes it extra special, because usually, look, if you get an A hold, you get it towards the end, but yeah, this one you got to be winning very hard. You got to be winning exceptionally hard, but how much harder can you win? Want to find out on Junkertown, and this is where it's going to be potentially Hong Kong Attitude's comeback place. I mean, they have to come back here to bring us to a map number 5, because otherwise, call Numbani just like a one-off. Call that one almost a fluke from Hong Kong Attitude, because right now, DeToNator look like they're going to 3-1.
Maybe it was a fluke out of DeToNator Korea. That's the other thing you've got to consider. Maybe it was them actually not playing to their fullest potential, and maybe their fullest potential is more like what we just saw in Hanamura. All that and more coming up right now. We'll find out on Junkertown, where it all gets decided in the scorching hot outback Australia.
By the way, angry DeToNator Korea is a very scary one at that. They go from not winning a map to completely blowing you out.
It's like you just unleashed the beast Hong Kong Attitude. They're like, no, it's okay. You can have that map back. You can have Numbani.
Yeah, by the way, something that we did think about going into this was we have not ever seen. First of all, we haven't seen DeToNator Korea lose a map. We've now seen that. But secondly, we haven't seen what it is like when DeToNator Korea are really pushed to the limit.
Yeah.
And right now we get the first glimpse of, okay, what do DeToNator Korea look like when they're really looking for that win, when they're going all out, like no holds barred. They're looking to clean this one up with no mercy. That's kind of what it looks like.
Well, I mean, Sleepy Bear is playing mercy, but I get your meaning. And that's the thing, that they are just really going hard. I mean, you've also got to credit Hong Kong Attitude for pushing them to that point. But Hong Kong Attitude now kind of need to rematch DeToNator Korea here, because it is DeToNator Korea now firing all cylinders.
And it's Daheem versus Mui as well. This is kind of what we're expecting. Mui had great shots in Numbani. Daheem had great shots in Hanamura. But who gets the great shots in Junkertown in the 1v1?
Got to see that head-to-head. That's where it really counts.
Headshot to headshot.
Hey, yo. Oh, that's not quite connecting the hook. It's a decent hold. No one either way really getting the picks, and now Hong Kong Attitude can't in the kill box. DeToNator Korea don't really have any ultimates that they want to use to try and stop this one out. They're still just looking for picks, and yeah, could you believe that robots can fly? Oh, man.
Damage coming out from Mango. You've got to respect that.
There it goes.
Right now, Hong Kong Attitude are converting.
Oh, and finally we get a widow-on-widow headshot, and it's Mui getting Daheem. That is Hong Kong Attitude getting the cart moving. Even more headshots coming out. That should just be a point A cap.
I gotta say as well, the support from McCulty on the Hanzo is really important here, because the Sonic Arrow can really reveal the positioning out from the other Widowmaker on the other side, which Daheem has now swapped onto the Tracer instead, and with the, I guess, the configuration tank. Wanted to use the ult, or that was not a good ult.
I'm going to go ahead and say it was the latter. I know he is going to go ahead and swap. I don't think that they needed to, though. They could have actually stuck on it. It's not like the card had been stopped and that usually, like, why not continue the pirate ship while the seas are high and the winds are fair?
Because the pirate ship can, against a team that is very macro good, like DeToNator.KOREA, especially a team that's now fully swapped onto dive, where they can surround you on all this high ground, you got to consider that you have to give enough respect to say, don't continue the pirate ship sometimes.
Now just sort of looking for the re-entry into the fight here. DeToNator.KOREA have been able to get into a defensive position. Blitz pulling out the Dragon Blade, trying to run down Mango. He does get him, and they've got a Ting on the other side of the fight. Just everyone doing their job on the side of DeToNator.KOREA, and it doesn't matter how low you get those members, Hong Kong Attitude, you've got to actually get the kills.
And this is where Hong Kong Attitude have, by the way, swapped themselves onto pretty much a full dive now. Mui back onto the Sombra as well. There's a very short Widow duel. We only saw one real 1-versus-1 in there. But right now, it's DeToNator.KOREA looking for the 6v6, and they're about to come up some big ults, and Mui not even close to the EMP to counter them out.
Unfortunately not. Oh, and getting low as well. Really hard poked out every time he's trying to just build up that ultimate charge. And I mean, you've got to consider this isn't actually progress in the fight or on the payload here for Hong Kong Attitude.
They were stopped up at this archway, not so much archway, but this bridge area is so important.
Oh, nothing quite out of the self-destruct. They do actually get blitzed with the coalescence, and they're keeping everyone nicely topped off as well as the dive comes in. Krong, though, well-placed self-destruct, doesn't quite catch anyone, but he's now, well, actually, he got Shogun's Meg, but he's now in a bit of a tight spot here, is able to pull back out. Oh, catch onto Mango Giant. DeToNator.KOREA able to get the upper hand. Mui, though, commits the EMP, looking to get the follow-up, but he goes down. Krong has his number, and Modern is still in this one as well. These tanks are just unanswered for by Hong Kong Attitude.
And the problem is the EMP went in, but you already lost Shailin's mech. He can't follow up. You've also lost Mango Giant. He can't follow up. It's a 4-versus-6 or a 4-versus-5 at best, even with the EMP. Mui, he was forced out. He couldn't stay in his own EMP. DeToNator.KOREA just said, come at me.
And I mean, look at where Krong was a moment ago. He was surrounded by 4 members of Hong Kong Attitude, and he got out. He got back in the mech and got out of the area without even taking a whole lot of damage. That shouldn't happen.
If Krong can get some work done, and Blitz is looking to get in some work done himself. Early kills, quick kills, get out of my point.
Blitz is back in the office, ready to go to work. So is Modern, as it turns out.
Yeah, it's a Monday, and he's ready to smash out some papers or whatever.
Comes in, finds like these huge stacks of paper on his desk, just starts like shoving them off left and right. Like, look, now my desk is clear. I'm all done. See you guys Tuesday.
Yeah. He's got a short week, a short working week. This man's efficient. Raheem looking for some efficiency himself.
Now Blitz is the truly efficient working man. Yeah. At any rate, Hong Kong Attitude are
playing Reinhardt.
Yeah, they are getting some progress in the payload. It's the only thing that's missing, isn't it? Blitz on Reinhardt.
Efficient German engineering. Hong Kong Attitude have ultimates though, so they do have the ability to push on through. And here it comes.
Yeah, they are having to throw out the sound barrier. Haven't converted kills just yet. Self-destruct from Krong. Shaolin trying to answer. Neither really getting much more than a little bit of space, but Hong Kong Attitude are finally in a little bit of a tighter formation, a better position here than DeToNator.KOREA are. Never count DeToNator.KOREA out. Maybe do actually start counting them out around about now here. They should be able to drop Krong down. They can keep Shaolin alive as well. Yeah, a lot of should. Shaolin goes down. Didn't quite preserve his mech there, but they do still get the kills coming through. I do see DeToNator.KOREA maybe wanting to pile onto this one, but with Sleepy Bear dead, it may not be quite so safe. Oh, Modern gets McCulty, but a Ting is kind of getting equal work done. On the other side of that, he wants to show Modern that he is just as hard a worker. But the payload has actually stopped right now.
And the trades are still coming on from DeToNator.KOREA. When you think they should be running out of juice, when you think they should be losing, they should be backing up. They don't, and they still get the kills. It doesn't matter. DeToNator.KOREA now have ults. They got to play. They can win this.
The DPSs are still finding the targets throughout all of this. Hong Kong Attitude, they need to get more work done. McCulty needs to be getting a lot more kills than this. He's dead to the self-destruct. So now it's got to be a Ting and Shaolin getting kills. They are getting stuff done. But DeToNator.KOREA are getting so much more than they should ever be getting. constantly just finding picks, having to commit an EMP just to try and close this one over the line. Hacked, yeah, thank goodness. And Blitz is going to get dropped down. That was nearly not going to happen for Hong Kong Attitude.
That was like an extra minute of stall coming up from DeToNator.KOREA right when Hong Kong Attitude started to get a little bit of payload distance, a little bit of momentum underway. Apache actually didn't use Transcendence for the longest of times, but then DeToNator.KOREA started coming out, getting even trades, really pushing Hong Kong Attitude to the brink. Even at the last second there, you did see the Dragon Blade come out. Doesn't matter, Blitz changing onto the Sombra anyway. This is when they want to put their foot down. One EMP will secure the defense.
Could also secure the offense, though. And Mui is closer to his great catch on Apache, actually. Dive coming through Shailin, needs to preserve this mech. He's going to have to commit a self-destruct to do so. Doesn't commit it. He's going to have to slowly charge it back up. But is in with the Primal Rage. This is a little rough. They don't quite have the dive combo that they really need here. This is a little unclean, but they're making it work. Looks like they've got Krong's mech. Should be able to close out a Modern. There's the Primal Rage out of him. Coalescence, though, out of Mango. Keeps everyone top. Keeps the damage down on DeToNator.KOREA as well. Keeps momentum on the cart. Mui will start cycling into that EMP now.
Well, this is the thing. Hong Kong Attitude probably need 2 EMPs because you're going to use one to get around in the next corner. Don't expect DeToNator.KOREA to just roll on over, especially not when they have 2 defensive ultimates. But then Blitz, he will get his response. And when he gets his response, consider it to be a good one.
Unless Hong Kong Attitude just get killed, basically. And DeToNator.KOREA find picks right here and now. Good catch on Apache, though. Takes that Transcendence out of the picture. Mui's hacked! Mui's hacked right in the middle of the thick of the fight. Doesn't get an EMP off! Oh, that is heartbreak and disaster for Hong Kong Attitude. Now the sound barrier out of Sleepy Bear. Hack onto Shailin as well. And there's no resources for Hong Kong Attitude, but they got the kill on Sleepy Bear. EMP is out, but Blitz is low. Zaheem is low. Krong is going to go down, but Modern, he's doing the work in the thick of the fight. Ting is desperately trying to answer back. There's an EMP out of Mui, but they need to convert. They need to close out. Mui's already dead. Ting and CQB are the only members here, but he's got the Primal Rage. Modern responds with his own, and it's just 2 angry gorillas buffeting each other around. But if they stay off this point too long, it's just going to vanish. There'll be no overtime. But Ting is dead. He was the last man standing on the point. That is as far as they're going to get on Junkertown.
And call that payback for Numbani as well, because it was the opposite happening then. That time it was Blitz dying when he needed to use the EMP. This time he gets Mui. He says, this is the treatment that I received. Now I send it right back onto you. You will not complete this Junkertown attack. We will hold you right here exactly where you stand. And now Hong Kong Attitude, they have a pretty somewhat tough job ahead of them. At the same time, they got enough distance to say that C is defendable. When they get to C, it is certainly defendable, but at the same time, when you look at the C push, Hong Kong Attitude only got to C in overtime, which means they need to push DeToNator.KOREA to overtime onto B to have even remotely the same chance to get that same hold.
That's the thing, their B push, that was where they lost all of that time. Their A push was so quick, so decisive and fast. It took a little moment to get past that kill box, but DeToNator.KOREA never really capitalized on that ideal position. In Hong Kong Attitude, they may not have taken the pirate ship all the way to the sea, but they still got to sea at any rate. Now they do have the opportunity to even do something like fully hold up DeToNator.KOREA on A.
The thing is, though, the ship sunk before it reached the harbour, so for DeToNator.KOREA, they might have just a little bit more wind behind their sail this time around. That is if they even decide to go for the pirate ship. And one thing that has been evident so far, small sample size, mind you, is that we have seen both teams play the Orisa Hog, and so far Hong Kong Attitude won that seemingly reasonably convincing as well, including Mui out-sniping Daheem in the head-to-head 1v1 there as well. But when we went to the dive compositions from both sides, looking across all the maps we've seen so far, DeToNator.KOREA have just been the better dive team.
Just want the audience to know, no, we are never going to run out of nautical puns.
I can't think of another one.
Poop deck. At any rate, Hong Kong Attitude on this defense now. Mui didn't quite find that opening pick on the Blitz, but oh, Shailin's down.
I just remembered that Junkrat has a peg leg, so that kind of fits the theme as well.
Oh boy. Oh boy, all the headshots coming
the revenge.
through. Oh man. Hey, what's a pirate's favorite letter? R. Your thing so, but me first love was the sea.
It's true. That is very true. I got baited into that one.
Yeah.
Much like Hongkong Attitude about to be baited into this defense, or this attack rather, from DeToNator.KOREA. Blitz already set up onto the side, looking for a little bit. Okay, he got spotted by the Venom.
Oh, jeez, that's unpleasant. That's really what that Venom Mine is. It's like, oh.
But it doesn't do much damage. It's like, it kind of tickles you.
It's like, oh. It's like someone letting off a really smelly fart.
That's what it sort of walks away. He's like, I took a little bit of damage and now I'm fine, but Hong Kong Attitude are taking a little bit more damage from other members.
Yeah, they got Krong, but they're going to lose a Ting here. And they've got a Transcendence out here now, DeToNator.KOREA, so they should be able to keep these members topped off. Barely keeping a Ting alive, though. Shy, they're not going to be so lucky. They're not actually finding the kills here. McCulty is sort of running circles around Tahim, but he's not actually killing him. Does get a pulse bomb out on his Sleepy Bear, but oh yeah. McCulty and Louis suddenly coming to life at the very end of that defense. Now Modern's dead. Where did this come from?
Well, this sort of came from the fact that Tahim wanted to take down Mui. He spent so long looking for Mui that Mui managed to just snipe out the rest of DeToNator.KOREA, so almost, I wanted to say oh, okay, that's nice. Almost single-handedly, but that wouldn't be quite fair to the rest of Hong Kong Attitude to say that the whole team reasonably, Mui included, was able to get that defense out of the way. And now, 2 minutes 02. I was going to say, we thought Hong Kong Attitude had a fast attack. DeToNator.KOREA going to match it. Not the case anymore.
Not anymore, yeah. And that does mean Hong Kong Attitude actually have an opportunity to fully hold this one out. But DeToNator.KOREA, with the ultimates that they do have in their back pocket. I do see it, yeah. Long setup though, and while he's doing that, Shailin's got pressured out. They did at least take out Apache, but here's the commit. Oh, Hong Kong Attitude though, they're getting kills in. Mui trying to close it out on Sleepy Bear, but he's actually getting pressured out by the Battle Mercy. To reload, tries to find a way to pull out of this one. DeToNator.KOREA, they're low, but they're not down. Oh, and flanked in from behind. Did get the headshot on Tahim, but Krong has sorted that one right out. But now Krong and Modern, bit too low to continue this fight. Blitz didn't really find much with the Dragon Blade. And Shailin is still kind of in the thick of this one. Has a self-destruct that he is going to commit into the middle of the fray here. Doesn't get any kills. The cap is looking like it'll go out. Ting did not need to go in there. That's a stagger.
Ting was already kind of out of position, but you're right. He could have chosen to jump away, seeing somewhat of an inevitability for DeToNator.KOREA to eventually get that A cap. One thing that has been at least consistent for Hong Kong Attitude is Mui reasonably consistent in beating Tahim. He's got a better flanks, got better positioning, better shots. And Tahim is starting to not have the same impact that we've seen him have before, and a lot of that is due to the fact that Mui has just been challenging him so evenly.
We're also seeing actually Blitz is not having as much impact as he has been previously, both just in general and with the Dragon Blades. That's a big commit out of Hong Kong Attitude. Shailin going down with the mech, though unfortunately they do get the Transcendence out of Apache, which is something, but trading an ultimate for an ultimate. Tahim finally finding his headshot onto Mui. CQB dead as well. Blitz doesn't even need to use this Dragon Blade potentially, just going to pressure out Mango Jai.
I will say though, Modern is somewhat, I'm not going to use the word force here, but he feels like he needs to play the Orisa here because the Orisa plays the card so well. Because of that, because you don't have the Winston, Blitz doesn't have that teammate to dive with them, so that's partially why you're not seeing Blitz having that same impact he has. He doesn't have his teammate Modern to back him up.
Ting is already down in the fight, and this is so typical of what we've seen out of Hong Kong Attitude so far. Just the tanks dying so quickly, either losing the mech or just a Ting going straight down at the top of a fight. And at that point, these more mobile DPSs, they don't really have the safety anymore.
By the way, we said DeToNator.KOREA needed to be forced into overtime, going into C for this to be a very defendable point. Right now, they managed to cap 2 minutes remaining onto B, which means they have 3 minutes plus going into C. And for Hong Kong Attitude, Mui fresh onto a Sombra, this EMP has to come out so fast. And DeToNator.KOREA have ultimate to push.
The Emperor side as well means Mui is going to have a hard time flanking to get that opening damage. They do have some decent ultimates though on the defense here, Hong Kong Attitude, but it's going to be a tough one. They have to draw their line in the sand and then dig in their heels, not give up an inch. Ting going aggressive with that Primal Rage, but he's just kind of in the middle of all of the damage out of DeToNator.KOREA. Gets shot on his way out of the fight. That's that supercharger in action. Shailin self-destruct doesn't really do enough, and now he's going to get pressured out as well. They just have to give up this space while they wait for a Ting.
Less than 10 meters.
And this is it. They've got to go just right now. They've got the Transcendence in. It keeps Shailen's mech up. But even then, so much damage in the middle of it. Krong out with a self-destruct, finds Mango. Trade back onto Hema. Blitz with this Dragon Blade, looking to close this out once and for all. But Hacked, yeah, dead as well now. But a Ting and Shailen being down means it's all got to be McCulty and Mui. They've got so much work to do. Oh no! Dead just shy of EMP. Transcendence is still there from Apache. And Krong has the payload on lockdown. Hong Kong attitude trickling on, staggering in, peg legs abound, but the ship sails into harbor and DeToNator.KOREA complete another victory.
And that's victory Transcendence as well. Partway through, I'm like, where's the Transcendence? But you got to consider, actually, he was holding up for the EMP. He was waiting for Mui to come in with the EMP. You don't have to wait, though, because Mui died with EMP in hand. How many times have we said that tonight?
And it was so close as well. Again, that was one of those real game of inches situations. At 99% had just come available as he died, and it was a full-on like 100 to 0 kind of death as well, or I suppose 200 because that's how much health Sombra has, but it was just an absolute slaughter there for DeToNator.KOREA. There were some real glimmers from Hong Kong attitude, but there was no real point where, you know, they dug in their heels and just continued the defense. You know, they'd get one good fight, but they would never translate that into a second one.
Well, look at where they were successful, right? Hong Kong attitude were, I think at the end of the day, somewhat, I don't know if I can say they were the better, but at least they were matching equally, if not slightly edging them out, edging DeToNator.KOREA out rather in the Orisa Hog gameplay or the Orisa gameplay in general, and even in the Widow to Widow gameplay as well. That A point was where Hong Kong attitude was the best on their own attack, on their defense as well, but it's everywhere else that was all DeToNator.KOREA. All of B was DeToNator.KOREA, all of C was DeToNator.KOREA. We needed more out of Hong Kong attitude on those 2 points, and if you don't want to go to those 2 points, well, you got a full hold A, and that didn't happen.
DeToNator.KOREA collecting now their 4th handshake of Contenders. We'll take their bow as well. And we now find ourselves in that situation. If we readdress that arms race, that Cold War, if you will, between the superpowers of each group, being DeToNator.KOREA, who we just saw, and then Blank on the other side of the fence, on the other side of the Iron Curtain, perhaps, in Group B.
Just a white picket fence.
Yeah, they had a win, but it was a 3-2. So now the map score, if you want to compare those two teams head to head, it is DeToNator, currently the best performing team across Contenders Pacific in general. That being said, Hong Kong attitude did challenge them. They did really challenge them, and Hong Kong attitude are going to be going into those playoffs just as well as DeToNator.KOREA are, and that's where DeToNator.KOREA will also come up against those teams like Blank, like Mega, who nearly just beat Blank. Now, I think if anything, actually, tonight has shown that there are a lot more teams out there that can threaten DeToNator.KOREA, that they do need to be at least a little bit afraid of.
And the other thing is, look, Hong Kong attitude, getting that one map win, they may be the only team in the regular season to get that one map win against DeToNator.KOREA until we get to the playoffs. And what that also means is DeToNator.KOREA now have to settle for at least a 19-1 map score. They don't get to have 20-0. They could have made that so close. On the other hand, though, pretty exciting to see.